Hello, welcome back to my channel. I don't know why I just did it like that. But my point is, hello, this is a little different video like I've been doing lately, just random different little videos. Today I want to talk about, of course, I mentioned this last night in my Big Sky video, that I wanted to talk about All Too Well. I have my little sweater on. I've been loving this sweater. When I got it last year, I remember I did like an unboxing on this channel of this sweater and I was like, it stinks. It did stink. It smelled like the factory. But after wearing it and washing it a couple times, obviously that goes away. But anyway, I love it. It's actually so cozy and warm. I wear it to work all the time. It's the kind of thing, like I said, like it's merch, but it doesn't like look like merch. People have complimented me like, oh, I love that sweater. It looks so vintage. I'm like, thanks. It's like, it is, she did make it a kind of vintage style. Anyway, let's stop talking about the folklore cardigan. That's old. That's a year old. Let's talk about the new thing, which is the short film. Now, let me just talk about all the things I liked about it first. What I liked about it was, I thought the casting was really great. I think Sadie Sink inserted into like the world of Taylor Swift was like very fun, and she's so beautiful, and like in the different scenes she had this kind of young girlish quality and then like her kind of mature budding young adult quality coming out that you don't get to see of her in obviously in Stranger Things. She's playing a full-on teenager and they're in the 80s and all this kind of stuff, so it was fun to see her in a role where she's like current and today and young woman growing up and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry, my eyes are watering. So that was great. The performances were great. I thought that, I know his name, I felt like he did a really good job too. The male lead did a really good job. I know his name, but I like lost it. Dylan. I knew it. Dylan O'Brien. I know. He did a really good job, but I have a little tiny niggling thing with his character, and the whole thing is overall. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about what else I liked. I liked the dialogue and I liked the pacing of the short film. I like how they put Taylor put different scenes in such a way that it led into the lyrics that were gonna be into the montage of the next scene. You see what I'm saying? And I liked the dialogue and how it like fit seamlessly into like the story of the song. Okay, all those things. And obviously it was like very beautifully shot. It was really gorgeous. The fall element is just so perfectly captured. I mean, it's really, really lovely. Okay, all those things aside, I think that like, let's get into my criticism. Because I made my first TikTok ever, you guys. I have to link it down below because I don't actually know what my TikTok is, but I can't even like plug myself because I don't know it. But I made a TikTok and I was like, is this short film fair? And this is why I asked this. My question of why is it fair, because the male character in this is so specifically styled and so specifically, even his dialogue, if you are let's just say the name, Jake Gyllenhaal. It's supposed to be Jake Gyllenhaal 100%. And I was just like, if you're gonna have a short film, I felt like the opportunity is to make the people in the song, their own characters instead of being Taylor and Jake. It could have been, these are their own people, you know what I mean? And I think that that's my like major criticism. I have two major criticisms of the short film. Number one is the Jake Gyllenhaal thing. I think I'm a long-term Jake Gyllenhaal fan, so people are gonna be like, you're biased. Okay, probably. I probably am biased. I'll cop to that. But I think that I also I think that it would have been very impactful if it was a story where the characters are more representative of a societal thing or or mainstream culture of age gaps and men and women and the power dynamic and everything. That's such a timely thing that people are talking about on social media a lot nowadays. and people are just talking about in general a lot, on and offline, but I really felt like this was less of a like really powerful comment on a culture and more of like a historical reenactment. I said this in my TikTok too. It's like a historic reenactment of a specific relationship when you see this very specific styling of the male character. I mean, the beard, the speech pattern. If you're a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, don't tell me that like you couldn't imagine him saying some of this stuff. I was like, I was like watching it. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. Um, the clothing, the beanies, the headphones. I don't want to reach too far with the headphones, but like the headphones, I was like, when they were sharing the headphones, I was like, and then, I mean, the only thing they didn't show was like Jake Gyllenhaal's literal dog, you know, like you could have had like the two, he's like two dogs, I think, but like, I was like, ma'am, ma'am. And I think that the song is great because I think that the song does kind of speak to a larger culture that could be going on. But I also think that the specific things she says in the story, in the story, in the song, I think they sound very familiar, don't they? Like the guy who's like on paper, he's like perfect. He's like super sweet, and like he's a feminist. He for she, girl in the keychain detail. And it's like a lot of people were saying, is it her and John Mayer or her and Jake Gyllenhaal? And this is how you know it's really specifically Jake Gyllenhaal, because she talks about charming the dad, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, John Mayer isn't charming. He's like a smug kind of like, you know, he doesn't seem charming, but like Jake Gyllenhaal's charming, and like you're on a late night show and all this stuff. I was like, it felt very specific, and I felt like if she would have broadened it out, it could have been like a comment on a larger culture, not just on like one person's behavior. I don't know. That's my opinion. I mean, there are people who probably argue like I did get that as you through this one person you do see a larger pattern in our culture. I'm like, okay, but I don't want to use the phrase hit piece. It was like a scooch to the left of a hit piece. It was like almost a hit piece. She may as well name them Jake and Taylor. Like, that's I was really surprised. And yeah, let's just move on from that. And then my main second criticism was, it really felt like a music video. And I think that you're like, what is the difference between a short film and a music video? I don't know. But if, I don't know, you tell me, but it didn't feel like a film. Like, it didn't feel like a really short movie telling one specific story from beginning to it did tell a specific story from beginning to end, but I felt like the song told the story as much, if not more, than we got visually on screen. Like certain details of like, you made self-effacing jokes, self-deprecating jokes, stuff like that, you know, or your keychain was on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Instead of like closing up and seeing the keychain for ourselves, we have to get the like lyrics telling us exactly what's like narrating over what's happening, and like the lyrics are playing over a lot of montage in this. So I'm just like, I don't really know what the difference between this and a music video is. And I think that when you have a short film, people don't watch a lot of short films to begin with. So like, if you're going to make a short film, call it a short film and not a music video, make a really distinction there. Then I felt like the content itself should be making an assertion that it's a film instead of a music video. And to me, I felt like if she would have fleshed out more dialogue and put together more scenes and made this like 20, 15, closer to 15, 20 minutes, and then she could have cut things into a music video with all the montages and released that separate. In my mind, that's how I would have done it, but we shall see. I don't know, guys. You tell me what you think. That's all I have for today. If you heard a lot of noises out my window, I have my window open this time of year because it's so nice out. So sorry if that was a problem. But I just heard a car. I'm like, okay.